Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
We've got a hot and humid Thursday on our hands. Seems about right since we know showers and storms are firing around the region. We know some will be severe, so let's get the latest now from Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson in your First Alert forecast. Hey, Hutch.
It is indeed, Andrea, a First Alert weather day tonight. We have a repeat performance in mind by the atmosphere. Friday brings another risk, but let's get through tonight's risk, mainly enhanced risk of severe weather from the Southern Valley and points off to the east. Now, we're starting to see the development of some storms. They're trying to take off right over the Red River Valley just to the north of the FM area. At this time, they are not severe, but they are strengthening, and a little bit of lightning starting to show up with these as they are just in the developmental stages. We're seeing one little red pimple to the south of Fargo as well. And we're tracking each of these cells to see that in this hot, soupy air, which ones are forming. This storm has moved from right over Hallstatt to not far from Neillsville on Highway 75, basically moving northeast at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. That will put it near Crookston as we go through the next half hour or so. So we'll keep our eyes on these storms. Just know with all the heat and humidity in place, look at these temperatures near 90 in Fargo, 90 in Jamestown, and those dew points in the 70s. It's very hot and sticky. Any storms that form will bring the risk of large hail, damaging straight line winds, very heavy and flooding rainfall potential. Isolated tornadoes cannot be ruled out either. Our storm team, including storm chaser Eric Whitehill, is getting positioned. We are all positioned, and we'll keep our eyes on the skies for you. You can check with us anytime storms impact your area, and we'll let you know if they're severe, and we'll have your forecast here in just a couple of moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Authorities are assessing the damage after a fire on NDSU's campus. It started just before 1 p.m. when rescue crews were dispatched to a fire in one of the chemistry labs. Firefighters quickly put it out, preventing it from spreading to other areas of the building. No one was in the lab at the time and there were no injuries, but the lab has significant smoke and fire damage. A damage assessment is not available at this time. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. We are all approaching the end of the summer as kids prepare for school, but around the corner is the holiday season. And with more people ordering online, there's an opportunity for Porch Pirates, and a few have been caught on camera. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero investigated what's being done to stop the thieves.
Tanya Grieger says she's been ordering more stuff online lately, like others, as the pandemic forces most Americans to work remotely. Although she was going to be out of town, she had a few items set to arrive on Saturday.
I got home Sunday afternoon and expected to see those packages still sitting there.
But they were not there, and as she looked through her surveillance video, she says she found the culprit.
I'm not concerned about the packages. I want him to get caught for what he did.
You can see him driving around their neighborhood in a maroon-colored minivan.
And it had no plates on the front or the back.
She reported the incident to the Fargo Police Department.
He specifically told me that it would be filed as an inactive investigation unless they get more information.
That falls in line with a change in policy announced last year by the city attorney's office to not give priority to package thefts since there's so many of them. Despite that, Grieger says she and her neighbors are forming a neighborhood package watch.
I said, how about we all just do that from now on? If you see packages on each other's steps, let's just take them and text each other and say, hey, I have your packages.
The United States Postal Service told us it's reporting a 50% nationwide increase in parcel volume. Yet USPS denied giving us exact numbers Thursday for the Fargo area after doing so twice back in April. The new head of communication for the Postal Service says it has to do with competition from other shipping companies. In Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
The increase in package volumes at USPS comes as the agency is reporting that mail is being delivered more slowly as they make changes to their system, and that includes not allowing employees to work overtime. 2 people are now in jail after police had to chase them last night, first in a vehicle, then on foot in West Fargo. 26-year-old Cody Heyman and 25-year-old Kiana Chenzi were arrested by police after abandoning their vehicle and fleeing from officers during a traffic stop around 10 last night. Police say Heyman went into an apartment complex, took apart a gun, and tried to hide the pieces. Heyman was also arrested on several warrants from North and South Dakota. Chenzi was arrested for fleeing on foot. Police are investigating after they say a man was trying to break into a Moorhead apartment building this morning. Just before 3 a.m., police responded to a call for a potential burglary in the 3200 block of 9th Street South. Authorities say a woman was trying to get away from a man and was buzzing apartments inside the security door to get help. Police say the man found her entryway and broke the glass door. A drug raid has landed 2 people in jail with authorities seizing several pounds of drugs and money. Drug task force agents searched a home in Meeker County, Minnesota yesterday. They found over 11 pounds of meth, 9 pounds of marijuana, and over $72,000 in cash. The meth has an estimated street value of around $150,000. A 33-year-old man and a 36-year-old woman from Litchfield were arrested and taken to the Meeker County Jail. Fargo police are looking for a man after a bar fight sent another man to the hospital. Authorities say the man in this picture, 43-year-old Timothy Berg, was taken to a hospital after he was in a fight with a man behind the Bismarck on Friday. The other man involved in the fight took off before emergency crews arrived. Authorities say the man who took off is described as black with a medium build and short hair. At the time of the fight, he was wearing light-colored shorts and a dark shirt. Anyone with information should call this phone number, 451-7660. Authorities have now identified the 2 people involved in a deadly crash yesterday in North Fargo. The man who died was 30-year-old George Cantu of Fargo. The injured passenger is 28-year-old Summer Longdog of Fargo. We still don't know the extent of her injuries at this time. Police say that alcohol and speed were factors in the crash. Students and teachers heading back to school should wear a mask. That's the message from Dr. Deborah Birx of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. As schools reopen, many people still have questions and concerns. Birx sat down with Valley News Live's Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro to answer some of them in an exclusive interview.
As schools reopen, some students are already testing positive for COVID-19. So we asked White House Coronavirus Task Force member Dr. Deborah Birx,
did some schools open too soon?
I think every single county needs to look at what their case rates are, because if they're finding students in the school already positive, most likely they were infected in the community and came to school already COVID positive.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention offers guidance about hygiene, distancing, and face coverings in schools, but there's no national mandate. So school administrators across the country are making the decisions.
What's your message to schools that don't mandate masks?
They should have masks. I've gone around the country with that same comment. Everybody, to protect themselves and to protect others, should be wearing a mask.
The CDC also leaves whether or not to test students for coronavirus up to schools. Some researchers think testing as many students as possible using antigen tests could help slow the spread. Antigen tests are a faster and cheaper option for COVID-19 testing, but can be less accurate than other kinds of tests.
Do you think that schools need to be testing students for coronavirus?
So if you wait for someone to have symptoms, you could have active spread in the school. So it's very important that every school has a plan.
There's still a lot we don't know about coronavirus and kids. While most kids are not getting as sick as adults, Birx says they might be just as capable of spreading the disease. Jacqueline Policastro, Valley News Live.
As for the cost to keep children safe, Birx believes school districts across the U.S. will spend thousands of dollars to prevent the spread of the virus. In Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting another 697 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 7 new deaths linked to the illness. In total, 1,685 deaths have been attributed to the disease, while over 56,000 people are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, there are 201 new cases and no new deaths. The death toll remains at 120, and the active case count is up to 1,035. People lined up today in West Fargo to receive free backpacks before school starts. This event was at Aurora Elementary, and it's part of the United Way Cass Clay's school supply drive. Today was the 3rd time they've given out backpacks. This year, they had to spread it out over several days because of the pandemic. They're planning 9 days total, giving out more than 6,000 backpacks.
Typically we would distribute out at the Fargo Dome in more of a mass setting. And so we now have 9 smaller distributions that are done outdoors.
Wonderful opportunity for all of our students that have a need for school supplies and a backpack to come out and to get the things that they need.
Organizers say they handed out about 700 backpacks today. First-time claims for unemployment reached a milestone last week, but analysts say there's still much to do. The Labor Department reports last week's first-time claims were down to 963,000 applications. That's the first time claims have been below 1 million since mid-March. They say it's a good sign the job market is starting to recover, but add 963,000 is still well above pre-pandemic record levels. Many analysts say keep an eye on continuing claims or the number of people receiving benefits for 2 weeks or more. That number fell more than 500,000, down to 15.5 million. Still ahead on Valley News Live at 5, an investigation is underway after an officer orders a canine to attack a black man.
Hot and summer-like and sticky across the valley. That heat and humidity will fuel some severe weather tonight. We'll have the latest on where, and we're looking ahead towards another First Alert Weather Day on your Friday next.